the best chance, eastern Mass and points south and east, of getting over a foot of snow. Now, it may be in some areas, particularly down over south.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Roy Works channel. In today's video, we are going to work on installing Ned's fuel tank and his fuel pump. And we'll also run his fuel lines going from the tank to the fuel pump, from the fuel pump to the carburetor. So before we get started, I had one question that was asked by one of the people that commented, it was a question. They just wanted to see if I was having problems with the linkage from the steering hitting the dual master cylinder. They seem to have had a problem. So they was saying that when they steer, that this linkage right here, or this arm, comes and hits those nuts on the master cylinder, or that bolt. So I'm curious what it looks like when I turn it. So mine comes really close. And it seems like it just barely hits it. But I don't think so. But if anybody has any ideas how to fix that situation, if you could leave it in the comments. And I can see, I already called Kaiser Willys to see if they had a problem with that, and they said they haven't. I can see how it could hit. It's very, very, very close. And if anybody has any ideas how they would fix that, I have a couple ideas what I would do. I possibly would heat up this, see if I could heat up this arm right here and just bend it out slightly. But I don't know, if you guys have any ideas, if you could just leave it in the comments. So to make the strap to hold down the tank, I'm gonna use just some of this scrap, 1 by, I think this is like 18 or 16 gauge steel, galvanized steel. And I'm gonna bend that into a strap to make it so it can hold down the tank. I'm only gonna use one strap because I feel like the side that's closer to the fill holds itself and it only needs one strap. So I'm gonna go through that process now. So to locate where this port goes through the floor can be kind of a pain because there's no way of getting accurate measurements. So what I'm going to do is take some of this orange paint that I used to paint the bracket that holds it down, and I'm going to spray it. Try not to spray too much of it inside of it. And now while it's still wet, hopefully that will make an impression of where that actually goes through. All right, that worked pretty well. Now I'll take and drill out that hole right there. This hole I'm going to use a taper bit and use most of the bit because I want it to be not exactly the size of that hole. I want it to be quite a bit bigger. pushing the strap so it separates from the tank to the strap. I'm going to use some of this weather stripping and just put a little barrier between the strap and the tank, just so when they rub together they don't wear each other out. All right, so now let's install the sending unit. This has arrows, and the direction of the arrows show the direction of the float, where the float works. So I think I'm going to install the fuel line on this before I tie this in. So I decided to use hard line instead of the soft rubber line going within the frame area. I made hang when I did the brake lines, and I'm going to run this tube in one of those holes that I made for the hangers. You can see the hangers that I made in one of the other videos, the video when I did the brake lines. So I'm going to estimate basically a good amount of this. We'll run this in the framework right now, and we'll bring it up by the fuel pump. Right now that I get the fuel line up to here, I'm gonna start concentrating on taking the fuel pump out. This was a temporary setup I had when I had the temporary fuel tank up here for my snowblower. So I'm gonna remove that. I'm gonna actually use these brass fittings and put those into the new fuel pump. Now, when I run this the last time, the fuel pump leaked a lot. So I'm thinking some of the seals are gone inside of it. I'm gonna keep this fuel pump and possibly rebuild it as a backup. So this was leaking out of the bottom, but I think it was actually this seal. That's the great thing about Jeeps, that you can take the fenders off so easy. This would be a lot harder if the fender was here. Is there anything cooler than an old glass sediment bowl? I think they look so cool on these old vehicles. All right, great. Now I'll tie in the lines. I'm actually gonna cut this line off and actually go rubber from here up to the carburetor. And I'll put the other adapter back on. I'll cut this off also so I can adapt the rubber to this and then bring the rubber to the other gas line. Well, this is the only filter they had at the auto parts store. I don't really love these type of filters, but what I'm gonna do is just put it in place for now and hopefully get a metal one closer to when I'm gonna drive this. I mean, this will work, but it seems like you can never get these to seal right around here. But I'll just put it in place so you can kind of see where I'm gonna put it. I also ran out of clamps. All right, guys, well, that's gonna be it for today. The next video, I think I'm gonna take Ned out for a cruise in the snow. But that depends. I'm gonna do some temporary wiring because I wanna get him so he's mobile and he can get in and out of the garage. But that will be for the next video. I'll see what we're gonna do. Thanks for being here, everybody, and please like and subscribe this video if you enjoyed it at all. And if you wanna follow along on any of the new upcoming videos. Well, thanks guys. I'll see you next time.